Hey, what's going on? This is a wrap up on the Blue-Red Mill deck. I tested it pretty extensively on Friday night, playing a couple 8-mans with it, and I've come to some conclusions. So, this is my records, and I wasn't that impressed. Like, at first I was really impressed with the Blue-Red Mill deck, just how easily you can kill someone. However, as I found, I think the metagame has adjusted to it pretty well, actually. I've faced a lot of Orbs of Warding, which is the 5-minute artifact where you have hexproof, which basically means you can't win with this deck. You need to either you need to disperse it or negate it. So that was a big deal. And then there's a lot of hate from the constellation decks, a lot of back to natures around. So that was pretty tough. What's funny though is I beat the Jamoka's command decks. I mean, I didn't get playing against them a lot, but they get decks that are like kind of like the quintessential Jamoka's command decks, Bant Heroic and Green Aggro. They weren't too tough, but the tougher matchups was definitely Abzan Control. I found that to be the toughest matchup. I think people thought it was a lot easier before because they weren't set up to beat this deck, but now that they're taking into consideration, it's a lot harder. And I think a lot of people know what's going on. So the other thing I found is that even if the decks didn't have the hate, like the Red Black Dragons deck and the Mono Red deck, like I think Thoughtseize is a lot worse for this deck than the hate cards. Ripping apart there's so much air in this deck that I think if you like are able to like well time a Thoughtseize, it's really good. Like, yeah, I don't want to be Thoughtseize in like the draw 2 deck, but they're not going on go back on cards that much usually. So if they take a key piece, they can just really leave you digging. And like Thoughtseize is not like, oh man, like you're not gonna be doing something for the rest of the game, but it means like you're not gonna do something for the next 2 turns. And Thoughtseize puts pressure. Plus pressure is a big deal, and that's exactly what the Abzan control deck, and probably the Abzan aggro deck can do, and the Red Black Dragons deck. Black Green Elves got a really good draw against me, so I'm not sure if that's a bad matchup, but they do have Thoughtseize and pressure, and they do heal pretty quickly. The mirror match is pretty terrible. It's really scary. It really relies on like who has more Annuls and Negates, and who can stick a Jace, I think. So it's pretty swingy in that regard. I mean, I think the deck's pretty good, but I just don't think it's well positioned right now. It's probably, I feel like it's in like kind of a dredge space of a metagame, where if no one's preparing for it or planning on playing against it, it's probably a really good choice. But if if you're playing, if like people know about it and are preparing against it or having sideboard slots developed on it, if there's splash hate like there is now with the back natures and Jamoka's commands and Unravel the Aethers, it's pretty hard for you. Playing the deck, Jace is like absolute all-star, but the real card in the deck is Alhammarret's Archive. Like basically, if you stick this, you basically win. It's basically 5 mana. If you untap next turn, you win the game, just because how much like value it provides you. Like this, all of your draw spells draw 4 cards. Treasure Cruise draws 6. It's just absolutely nuts. So going forward, like we probably want another Archive for the slower matchups, like Abzan, because it just kills them. But I don't think that we're really gonna like need to test this deck in a little bit anymore. If I feel like the metagame is just shifting towards like forgetting about the enchantment hate and forgetting about the blue-red mill deck, that's when I'll bring it again. But I think I'm gonna be exploring other avenues for the WMCQ. All right, thanks for watching.